Hello folks, welcome to another mod spotlight. Today we'll be covering the mod Hell Rework mod. It covers recipes, adds spray paint, you can change the look of barrels, you can make your own improvised tents, and many other things. This mod was suggested for a mod spotlight by FRD in the YouTube comments of Massive Mini Item Overhaul, Backpacks, and Clothing. Now, let's get started. Alright, first off, we'll be covering the improvised tent from this mod. To make this improvised tent, you need 2 sticks and a camo netting to produce this beauty right here. It has 20 slots, as you can see, and you can pick it up and we're putting it in your hands. To craft it, you take 10 sticks, or 2 sticks, and you craft it with a camo netting. Now this can be either done in your inventory or on the ground. When it is done crafting, it will place it directly above you and behind you at an angle. Push and hold it. Now I suggest going to third person if you can with this. But a good thing to note is where you're looking is going to be the back, and the back side of you is going to be the front, the entrance. So if you push G, you see how it placed it like that. Very nicely, very well done. Now I have placed a improvised tent in the woods on the horizon there. And if you cannot see it, then the mod does a great job in hiding the tent. And there it is. Now, from this rendering distance is probably why you can see it, because I zoomed in. It has that weird waving sheen, but when you're up close, it is nothing but pure camo netting, as you can see on here. And that is the improvised camo tent. Next up, we'll be covering the advanced improvised tent. So, the advanced improvised tent takes 2 firewood and a camo net to make this. It has 40 slots, and it only takes up 4 by 2. And so does the improvised tent too, just to verify on that one. So to craft it, you take the firewood and you do it. Now, to get 2 firewood stacked together, you have to chop a tree down and then either push F to pick it right up into your inventory, or put it in your hands right away. I don't know any other way of stacking firewood, unless you have OP base items. Now, this works the same way as the improvised tent. Where your facing is going to be the back, and where your butt's going to be the front. And see, there you go. It's not exactly exact science there, but it works. Now I have placed the tent in the horizon here, and if you cannot see it, then it has done a good job. Let's look at it with binoculars. And there it is. So you can see it does do well with blending in with the terrain. And that, folks, is the advanced improvised tent. Alright, next up is the big Camo Shelter. So to make the big Camo Shelter, which is this right here, as you can see it's quite large, it has no inventory space. It's literally just meant to be a big camo shelter for your cars, tents, whatever. Break up the silhouette of the landscape, and you can easily take it in your hands and hold it. To craft it, you need to grab 2 wooden logs, and you need to have a camo net. And then you combine them together. Now this shelter is different than the other shelter improvised tents. mainly because where you're facing is where the entrance is going to be, and where you're not facing is not. So push that, and there you go. See? The entrance. And that's what it looks like. Now, if you're wondering if this can help hide cars from people running through the woods and just looking around, then yes. So in the woods here, I have hidden a car inside one of these. If you can see it, say in the comments. If you cannot see it, then I did a good job. And there it is. As you can see, it does blend in, but it is obvious once you know it's there. You can see the silhouette of in the trees. And that, folks, is the big Camo Shelter. Alright, next we will be covering the barrels and retextured barrels from the Hell Rework mod. The Hell Rework mod adds different types of spray paint, including DPM and many other things like tiger stripe and stuff. You can use it to paint weapons and other things, but today we're going to be looking at barrels. So you take the spray paint in your hand, you go to a barrel, you push and hold the spray paint. It does use a full can of spray paint to convert this into the new type of barrel. And the barrel will appear behind you. And as you can see, this is the DPM barrel. Now it will be to the side, I don't know why, but it does spawn that way. And over here, you can see all the different things. This is the Cat Pat barrel, the French CC barrel, the Surpat barrel, the DPM barrel, the Flectarn barrel, the Lizard Camo barrel, the Tiger Stripes barrel, the OCP Scorpion barrel, and the Multicam barrel. Please remember, before you spray paint any of these barrels, remove the contents. It will delete the contents when you spray paint them. And that is for his reworked and retextured barrels with the spray paint that he has added. Next up, we're going to be covering Ghillie Gun Wraps and how to make them using his mod and his modded ghillie wraps. First, you need to find a piece of clothing, one of his patrol jackets or whatever. Today we're going to be using the spur rat rags, which you get by taking a knife in one of his shirts or pants and cutting them into rags. You take the rags and then you take a netting, and you combine them together to make that specific camo gun wrap netting. As you can see, it has made it right here. That's what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like on a gun. Got the Mosin here. Let's put it on the Mosin. As you can see, it looks pretty decent on the Mosin. Now he does have quite a few other gun wraps. We're going to look at the Greek Lizard Ghillie Gun Wrap, which we're going to be putting on the AKM. You can see that it doesn't fully cover it, but it does look pretty nice. And finally, we're going to look at the Shaytac covering of this. As you can see, it fully covers the Shaytac. And if you're using iron sights, it blurs your vision a little bit, but you won't be using iron sights. And there you go. And that is the Ghillie Gun Wrap. Alright, next up, we are going to be looking at how to make the camo rags that are used in the Ghillie Gun Wrap and Ghillie suit process with the Hell Rework mod. First, you find a jacket of his spawned in the world, and it says craft DPM rags when you have a knife in your hand. Just push and hold like you would any other item you would tear into rags, and this will create a camo version of the rags. And that is how you create the camo rags used for the Ghillie suit process in the Hell Rework mod. Now once you have created the rags, you can take the rags and go over to a 1 netting and 2 rags, and you can create a hood. Just combine them together and it will take on the camo look of the rags you use. So as you can see, we have a DPM ghillie hood right here. Now, if you take 4 netting and six rags, second, 4 netting and 6 rags, you can craft a ghillie suit. Just combine them together, and voila! You have your ghillie suit. As you can see, it definitely looks interesting. But yes, that is how you craft the ghillie hood and the ghillie suit using Hells Rework rags plus fish netting. Alright, next up, we will be covering his retexture of the Courier bag and how to make Courier bag with his mod. So it's pretty simple. You take a rope, and then you find one of his many clothing of the camo that you wish, and then you just craft it with the rope to make the modified retextured Courier bag. And there you go. You can even improve upon the Courier bag and make it improvised bag using 3 sticks and the Courier bag to create a larger capacity for your thing. As you can see, that's what it looks like on the back. Pretty nifty looking, huh? And that is the Hells Rework Courier bag and improvised bag creation. Next up, we are going to be looking about how to respray weapons. So we have here a Mosin, and then we have a DPM spray can. Put the Mosin down, take the DPM spray can into your hands, and then you hover over it, and it says paint Mosin in DPM hold. So you just hold it. Now I believe this does use up a full can of DPM spray. And voila, we now have a painted Mosin. Please remember to remove all attachments to weapons before you spray paint. Otherwise you will have a loss of attachments and possibly ammo. This is what it looks like on the ground. Looks pretty nice. That combined with his Ghillie Gun Wraps, and you have a pretty well camouflaged weapon. And that is his weapon camouflage painting crafting system. Thank you. One more thing to note too, that this works on the CZ527, the Winchester, and the Mosin, with soon to be the M4A1 possibly in the mix. Next up, we will be covering how to make his primitive stone knife, his primitive stone hatchet, and the primitive pickaxe. So what you do is you find a couple sticks, and you make a stone knife. If you don't know how to make a stone knife, you take 2 small stones, which can be found on railroad tracks or trails, and combine them together to make a stone knife. Now you take the stone knife and the sticks, and you combine them together to make a primitive stone knife with a wooden handle. And this is what it looks like. So you can add that. Now if you take the primitive stone knife and you take another 2 sticks, you can create a stone hatchet, which will allow you to chop down trees, split wood, so on and so on. Cut down bushes. And this is what it looks like here. Really nice, huh? See it in your hands. Now, if you take the stone knife and a long wooden stick, you can create the primitive pickaxe by combining them together. You can get long wooden sticks by cutting bushes with a knife. As you can see, in my hands. Don't know why anybody would ever have it held towards themselves, but that's okay. And that, folks, is how you create his primitive stone tools in his rework mod. And next, we are taking a look at the Hell Rework military belt. This belt has a bunch of proxies on it that can hold, so let's take a look. Goes on the body quite well, looks nice. So the proxies it can hold is it can take a regular compass or a orienteering compass. It can take a personal radio. You can take handcuffs. Says it's still stay getting handcuffs. Alright, so guess it doesn't take handcuffs. It can take a canteen. It can take a rangefinder or binoculars. It can take a knife belt, a holster, a flashlight. Guess I can't take that. But yep, and that is the military belt by Hell Rework mod. Another thing the Hell Rework mod adds into the game is a Japanese samurai sword. You can see it here on the ground. Looks like a nice model. And it is a melee weapon you can pull off your back. You can see I hold it in a cross guard. Here's a zombie. And it looks like 2 hits. Let's try it again. Yep, 2 hits and they're down. I'm pretty sure that since this is a bladed weapon, you probably could do 1 hit to the head and knock them down right away. And this is Hell's Rework Japanese Katana. Alright, and now we're going to cover the M4 edition kits added by Hell's Rework mod. First one is a M4A1 rail version upgrade kit. So you take a basic M4A1, literally there's no handguard, there's no butt stock, there's no silencer, there's no scope, and you put this addition kit on it. Voila, you now have a M4A1 with a silencer, a railguard, handguard, universal flashlight, a combat sight, and a close quarters combat butt stock. I believe that's what it is. Yes, QB's CQB butt stock. Now over here we have the MP version for the M4 series. Again, we have a M4A1 with no handguard, no butt stock, no scope, not even a suppressor or anything else on it. Okay, and let's see what it gives us. It gives us a M4A1 with a MP handguard, a MP buttstock, a ACOG, and a standardized suppressor for it. Note, it does not give your M4A1 a clip or ammo. And that is Hell's Rework M4A1 Upgrade kits. And that, folks, covers all of the crafting recipes for Hell's Rework retextures and retexture mod. The following will be a slideshow of all of his clothing and outfits put together, including weapons and ghillie spray paint retextures. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Pause at any moment to better examine a clothing or retexture.
Audio Jungle. 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 Audio Jungle.